Vic is a guy who is sort of got the mind of an engineer. So people I know like that are they tend to be sort of black and white, technically focused, a little bit more separated emotionally, more cerebral, a little more distanced from their emotions. And I sort of thought of him as like really rooted in the front brain and not at all in touch with like how he felt at all. So sometimes his actions would be foreign to him, and his reactions surprising to him, and not what he expected or wanted, or even surprised to feel anything at all. And I know people like this, and I did a lot of reading and studying about like there is a kind of personality which is very separated from and very distant, and kind of a classic sort of, there are all kinds of diagnoses and pathologies, but really it's about somebody who thinks he's very intelligent and technical and specific and focused on certain things like his snail collection and the technology he's developed and his interests, and not able at all to have emotional intelligence so that he can communicate with his wife, even though he's highly intelligent in a different way. And I think it's interesting to play a character who's really unintelligent emotionally and is very intelligent intellectually. That's the fact, the sort of dialectic, the reality that dialectic can exist. Yeah, there's an interesting theme in the movie that seemed to me to suggest that marriages kind of have inherent bargains or contracts that are made between partners. Sort of, you can do this and I get this and this is what I get out of it, and that there's a kind of symbiotic relationship that exists on some level. And that, we've all heard of extreme stories where there are people who have open marriages. Maybe that's not even extreme, just we have an open marriage, or we have in this marriage, our rules are like, the wife works, the husband stays home, he takes care of the house, whatever it may be. And that's a healthy, good thing, right? If you can find a balance, hey, this works for me, this works for you, and you're upfront about it, I think that's great. This is an example of a kind of contract that's an unspoken contract in a marriage. The sort of arrangements that happen that the couples are afraid to really say out loud to one another, and so they sort of begin to exist these parallel realities. What they say to each other, the married couple, and what really the exchange is beneath the surface. And that is dangerous because the deals are unspoken, that one party can ask for and pull for more, and maybe they're pulling on something that is simultaneously something that one of the others wants but is afraid of, or wants but is also creating something really dangerous and unhealthy in them. And in this case, I think the theme, a part of it is about how this couple goes down this road in order to sort of fix and solve their marriage. They start to play with fire. And eventually, get burned.
Congratulations. Yes.
The best bet on a movie being good is working with a good director. And so Adrian was someone I wanted to work with. Reached out to me, sent me this script. I said I heard it was based on a novel by Patricia Highsmith. I read the novel and the adaptation, and it was, really interesting, and a really interesting, dark, provocative exploration of a side of the human mind that we don't often see explored. It's one of the things that's really interesting about Adrian. He's a brave filmmaker, and he's interested in sort of the part of it's like, he's interested in the human sexuality, he's interested in the psychology of human beings and the way we present ourselves versus sometimes who people really are and what they really want, and putting those things next to each other. And all his movies, whether it's Fatal Attraction or Indecent Proposal, you see that same tension. He's gonna, sleep with my wife for $1 million. Like, it's one of these provocative dinner table sort of, would you ever agree to this thing? And he puts it in practice. And in this case, it's It's really a movie about, you know, on some level about you know, jealousy and ways in which it fuels relationships and ways in which it destroys them. And it's about what is the nature of a happy relationship, a real loving relationship? How dark do you go? If you go down certain roads, you know, you kind of can't turn back. And I thought that was fascinating. And I got the script and I loved it, and I signed on with him. And Arnon Milchan, who produced the movie at Regency, is a guy known for a long, long time and did Gone Girl with, and so I was very excited.
And action.